See, so now, does that look good, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that looks great.
okay. So, yep, so this
The
is a
drawing is
place,
magnificent.
thank you, a place in Rhode Island, not too far away from us, that we really like to go for walks, called Rocky
Beautiful.
Point. And it used to be an amusement park, like, with Ferris wheels and all that kind of stuff. It was like
Really.
anyway, it must have been a really amazing place.
It was.
There,
What
some,
size paper are you using?
12 by 16.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's a little crooked, but it was more crooked, and I kind of tried to straighten it. So I'm just doing the usual things, just trying to place everything. And I think I can't remember where I mentioned it, but it must have been my other class. Now I'm confused that since I'm speaking twice a week. But I took a picture of it, so I think I'll send you the picture of it. But in a book about whales, where they did the clouds backwards, like I mentioned. I think a long time ago I mentioned I was afraid I was doing the clouds backwards, where I was making the clouds at the bottom on top of the clouds that were at the top, and that it's really the other way around. The clouds at the top are on top of the clouds at the bottom.
Yeah.
So this was a good photograph for that. So that was part of why I picked it. And for me, this little scribbly stuff it just helps me see the shape better, like the size, the actual size of those dark areas instead of just an outline.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't do too well with outlines. My measuring isn't always my measuring is not as accurate with outlines as it is with masses of shapes. Although I still.
What do you mean by outlines? Do you mean a grid?
No, just like an outline drawing. Like I can tell better if things are the right size if they have volume.
Mm-hmm.
I really discovered it a long time ago now because it was from teaching self-portraits in high school, and how people's, like mine, luckily I did mine first, and they were great big, they were like 18 by 24 inches, and my face just looked humongous because it was completely flat, because it was just an outline, so it looked like it had been run over with a steamroller. And then as you start to put in the shading, it gets, then it's not such a big flat thing. So,
Jeneane,
uh-huh.
can I ask why you color it in with the charcoal?
Yes, that's what I was just saying, in fact. Just I'm trying to see the volume of the shape.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a drawing to be painted on, not just like a drawing that's going to just be an outline drawing. So I want to do some of these things, help me start to see it in my mind like a painting, that's going to be a dark shape.
You would. I was just going to say it shows the darks, where the darks go. Too.
Yeah, it's the darks. I mean, I could do more. I could do more values and all, but I just need to know where the really darks are. Thanks, Grace. That was really helpful. And the reason I need to know where the darks are is it's hard. It's hard if you put light where you're going to have dark. It makes life a little harder. So if I can get my darks where they belong right away.
Are those hills along the horizon in the background?
On the far, it's the other side of the. Those are clouds right there, but it's the other side of Narragansett Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the open ocean. It's not hills. It's just
It's like Barrington.
Yeah, it's a bunch of little towns.
The East Bay and And
Yeah.
mine is on the west side of the bay. The choice of the color of the paper, was that, did you deliberately choose the rust color or the brown color as red versus the neutral one?
Yeah, because I really like the way the blues and stuff look on it.
Okay, I remember
Um,
you saying that if it had a lot of green, you usually choose that color.
Yeah, but um, I don't always have a really good reason for why I do something. I might have been that, oh, I opened it, the red was on top. I'm sorry. But
That's good.
I think that color of most things go well on it.
I do too. Not autumn so much, but
Yeah.
Maybe any cool color, greens and blues on that.
yeah. And I've seen several oil painters that are really good here that they start on a reddish ground like this, and then they leave a lot of that red showing along the edges, and I think it makes their, I don't know any of their names, so, but it makes their paintings look really good, that red. So I just seem to, once again, have started at the top instead of at the bottom of the sky, but
And what kind of pastel are you using there?
mostly I try and just to use my Rembrandts. But some of the blues and the purples, I have other more expensive ones, but in general, what I like are the Rembrandts because they don't fill in too much. If you use the really soft ones right away, they fill it in so much that it's just hard to add lots of other layers. And I'm pushing pretty hard all the time, so I do tend to fill things in, and
So save the soft ones for the last layer, or
yeah. Except for the fact that I did buy a set of blues and I bought a set of purples, so. But I think these are just Rembrandts right now. If I picked up one of those softer, what?
Instead of blue and purple, what brand?
I don't know. Sorry. I'll try to look at some of them and tell you. I think Great American were the blues. I think I decided they were the best blues. Just from looking, on the color charts. A lot of the sets that were blues had really light colors, too many light colors, and I didn't really want a bunch of light blues. And I think the purple ones I got are those ones that you like, Grace. I'm sorry, I can never remember the names.
I'm supposed to say something now.
Yeah,
right?
you are.
I'm sure which ones.
I don't know. Terry Ludwig's.
Terry Ludwig.
Yeah, now see, that blue might be something else. I don't keep the papers on them, and you can see a lot of them are tiny little pieces. So I just not thinking about that. And I try not to keep those softer, expensive pastels in my box of Rembrandts because there is a tendency for me to pick them up too soon. Because they just
so beautiful.
They look so beautiful. You just can't resist them.
Yeah, well, I have them mixed up, and it drives me crazy.
There's a
I should
secret.
probably separate them.
That's the secret. That is totally the secret.
I actually cleaned some pastels the other day. I was so proud of myself.
Wow. Did you do it in the house or outside?
Oh, in the house. I just used, what is it that I use?
Do you use rice or do you use cornmeal? Cornmeal?
Cornmeal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I baked something.
Colorful cornmeal.
You know, I
But it
cleaned
really
it
works.
well,
It really does.
and instead of cornmeal, which I did the first time, I used pastina. You know, the little pasta.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Did that work too?
It worked really, really well.
Hmm.
I think it may be better than the cornmeal
Oh, no
because
kidding.
it has more of a you know, substance to it.
Huh.
I've never done that, so do you literally put one pastel in at a time, or you put a bunch?
No, no.
How does that work?
I put 5 or 6 in a Tupperware with the pastina and shake it.
Okay. I've
I
never
did
done
the
that.
same thing, except a lot more.
Wow. Okay, so the way I use the coarse cornmeal. So it wasn't the really fine cornmeal, but I'm gonna try the pastina because why not? And I
That's
have
what
used
did.
rice, and that works really well too. And what I do is I have a yogurt container that I've filled up about half full with that cornmeal, and I start with my lightest colors. So like maybe I start with my yellows, and I throw in maybe 5 of them and shake them up, and then I do find, and maybe you wouldn't though with the pastina or the rice, that I have to wipe them off. So I also wipe them all off with a paper towel.
Huh.
I just found that to be true for a couple of them. Well, anyhow.
Yeah,
It
well
was a
now.
very static- What?
No, go ahead. It's very satisfying. I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That'd be
now
helpful.
that I have this Dakota box, they don't get as dirty. You know, they got so dirty in the art bins because they rattled around so much in there.
Yeah.
Well, but don't they get dirty when you're
Yes.
bring colors to other colors on your painting?
Well, yeah, they do.
Absolutely. This always amazes me. This looks like a mess, and we know it's going to be gorgeous any minute now.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at the real painting, and it doesn't look that bad now. So I can see it here. Every now and then, I have to look. I look over at it. It's on the easel still, just to say, no, don't worry, Jeneane, don't worry. It's gonna be okay. But you can see what I'm doing, right? I'm just placing stuff.
Yeah.
And I would, one thing I noticed on a few paintings by people is a little tendency to make the sky look like a flat backdrop. And I would just say, especially something like this that doesn't have much depth in the land part of the landscape, that trying to make the sky have more depth is a good plan.
You don't think there's much depth? I mean, it goes all the way back to the shore on the other side.
Well, but I mean, I don't have like 10 layers of mountains or something, you know, going back. But
Well-
really what I'm just saying is, I think it's important to keep it in mind that the sky is a bowl that's going away from you. It's not a flat backdrop for the land.
Next thing, you're going to tell us that the world is round.
Yeah. I read that.
Wow.
I did. I read that. And I thought, how hard would that be to believe if you
Yeah,
didn't know?
I'm sure it was very hard.
Somebody must have believed it first.
Well, there were a bunch of really smart guys.
Guys.
There may have been one we don't know about them.
Yeah, those smart guys. I mean, that blue is just a Rembrandt. That's nothing special. It's just that really dark one.
Is it Prussian blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered it, but mine does not look that dark.
Well, this is the darkest one they make. It's 508.1 or 2. The darkest one they used made previously was 508.3, but there's a 508.1. And this is something else, like a Terry Ludwig purple. This is a great color.
Yeah, beautiful.
One thing is, when I'm working on such, this strong paper, I really just need to get things covered as quick as I can, because it's hard when you're working against all that red. And always, no matter what paper you're working on, do last whatever's most like your paper.
So I sort of get why you put that yellow in the middle, on the top middle, but what about that one on the very top that goes over the...
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's kind of a place marker, but it's definitely too much. And this is too much too, what I'm doing right now, this orange.
Oh, but it's beautiful.
I think also, Barb, I just was too lazy maybe to try to find, four different things here. It's like, I'll just make all the light on the rocks the same thing.
I take lazy. That's a good excuse.
I think lazy is kind of a good thing.
Reason, not excuse.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on why lazy is a good thing?
God, I was hoping I was just going to get away with that. Okay, this is my theory, is that the smarter you are, the lazier you can be. So, and that, like when you're painting, like I want to do the most I can with the least amount of work. I want to make it look like I worked a lot more than I did. So,
And may I add that laziness is the mother of efficiency.
and yeah, I agree, and creativity and everything. So,
My
anyway,
God, I'm a champion.
I know, right?
This is getting to be gorgeous.
Oh, thanks. I mean, like that yellow, you can see I couldn't stand it very long. I must have forgotten to cover this one up, but it's a super complex scene. I mean, look how many colors I already have, and that's still with trying to kind of economize on different spots of color, because it's just so much that how can I relate all these different things when there's so many of them.
It's just still always remarkable to me that you put all those colors in when I see mostly gray and
Yeah.
gray, dark gray, light gray.
Well, I'm just
Not have the imagination.
I'm just pushing it all the time, so I don't think I mean, who knows? Maybe this is, I mean, I feel like I'm doing what I'm seeing, but I'm exaggerating, absolutely, because I just rather exaggerate than minimalize, so I'm asking myself all the time, what the hell am I doing here? No, I'm asking myself all the time, what kind of gray is it? Is it a greenish gray, bluish gray, purplish gray? And so you can see this is pretty much it is a prismatic palette. It's not included, so far I haven't used anything like beige or brown or any of those colors that aren't the primary or secondary colors. And when I paint, as a painter, my palette is a prismatic palette. It's just the primary and secondary colors. And I do also use yellow ochre and raw sienna and burnt sienna. And occasionally I'll use Payne's gray as an alternative to black. But so I'm mixing my grays. I'm not reaching for my gray first. I'm going to mix it with the colors I choose.
distinctly remember.
Yeah. And I don't think you need to know any color theory or any of that stuff. I have no interest in that and never took any classes in it particularly, or never any. Never really taught it or anything. But, you know, if you know what the color wheel looks like, then you know how to gray your stuff down. Is just use the complementary color in it. Although it's not really the way I think. I'm really just trying to see what I see.
You're blessed with a different kind of vision than I have.
I just had those teachers, and I was just a young kid, and they just beat it into me. They weren't very nice. And besides, thank God everybody doesn't paint just like me. And Barb, your work is so beautiful, so.
Thank you. I wish it could be looser. I look at you and think, oh, I wish I could be more like that. I don't need to be exactly like you, but I would like to be looser than I am. But it is just how I see and what I do, so I've come to accept it.
Yeah, I think you might as well, really. I mean, it's not bad. It's a good thing.
It's fabulous
Yeah.
what she does.
Well, thank you. I just always feel like it's very tied to what the picture exactly looks like.
Well, by the time I get done looking at y'all's pictures, I'm like, why can't I finish my paintings? And then I say to myself, I don't even want to. Oh, there's the cat.
Great.
Cat is driving me crazy. Like, so many of you guys did amazing jobs on rock. I mean, you do amazing jobs on rocks, on trees, and everything. And I feel like I am just doing an impression of it that's much more about the color than the drawing. It's definitely more about color than drawing.
Different styles.
And you know what else is? I didn't study drawing first, which a lot of people draw for a long time before they paint, but I started painting when I was 13, so I became a painter before I was much of a drawer, except, as a kid drawer. I was pretty good at horses and stuff, but I just think I grew up thinking like a painter, not like a drawer.
Jeneane, did you grow up with horses?
No, no, but I love drawing horses.
Okay, you should read the book called Horse then.
Okay.
It's a great book.
All right.
And it's during the Civil War, and it's in the South, and it features a man who was apparently an extraordinarily gifted painter of horses.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I mean, that's part of the story. That's only part.
And it's called Horse?
Yeah. It's by Geraldine Brooks.
Oh. I think that was on my list, actually, or something by her is on my list.
I believe we're doing it in book group.
Oh, we're doing horse?
I think so.
Okay.
In 2 months.
All right, good.
Very, very good.
I'll still be in the country.
Oh,
Yes, I bought tickets to Sweden and Denmark.
Wow.
It's Geraldine Brooks?
Yep.
Is that what you said? Okay. I'm going to suggest it to my book group.
we've
Oh,
got
you
a
should-
lot of her books, Barbara. If you haven't read others, your book group would enjoy them. Wait, why are you going to Sweden and Denmark?
To see friends.
And you're not going to Italy?
We are.
Oh, also good.
Yeah, we're going for 8 weeks, and during that time, we're going to Sweden and Denmark.
Are you going to teach class from there?
No.
Jeneane, when's the last Monday class for this session?
Well, it must be right before March when I'm going to Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Let me just look. Yeah, it's March the 5th. And then I'm going to be gone 2 weeks, and then I just thought I'd pick right up on March 27th if anybody wants to, and go until I think it's 9 weeks is all, and then before I leave.
So,
You mean the 27th is a whole new class?
Right.
so no pastels on March 6th, because you're leaving on the 5th?
Well, no, I'm leaving. March 5th is the last one. March
March
5th will
5th
be
is a
the
Sunday.
last. Okay, March 6th will be the last one. Sorry, you
Okay,
know,
thank
it's
you.
that European calendar thing. I'm so messed up
Yeah.
from looking at.
It's very difficult.
It really is. Why can't those people do it right?
I know it.
Or actually, I mean, the problem is here, when I look at my calendar, for some reason, I do not expect Sunday to be the first day of the week. Sunday is the seventh
Yes,
day
I
of the
find
week.
that odd myself.
Yeah.
Even never having always been an American, always looking at American calendars. It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to blame my problems on that. I can't blame my glasses anymore because I got new ones. All right, but as far as making distance goes, the thing about distance is just, I don't think we've talked about them in a little while, but that you have those 7 tools that on your painting. And if something, I mean, the good news is, well, the bad news is you only have 7 tools, period. That's it. That's all you got. The good news is if something's wrong, it'll be one of those 7 things. So it helps me a lot to use those 7 things, and I promise tell you what they are just in a minute. So in the order that you do them, the first tool you have in painting is composition, and composition is the arrangement of the stuff and the empty spaces in a format. So, and then the second thing is drawing, and the third thing is color and value. The third and fourth thing are color and value. And let's see, wait a minute, composition, drawing, color, value. And then there's texture and edges, which I realize I only got to 6, so maybe it is only 6. But so let's just say you're trying to create distance. So to create depth in your paintings, one way you can do it is make sure in your composition that things that are closer to you do not line up directly with things that are further away, so that these things are overlapping and they're bigger. And then drawing too, that stuff that's closer to you is going to be bigger. And then color and value, so the strongest contrast and the strongest colors, the strongest value contrast and the strongest colors are going to be closest to you. So like here, like I'm working on those clouds, I'm trying to have some, maybe I have too little contrast back here, but I'm trying to push that back so I could have kind of far distance and then the medium clouds and then the really closer clouds. So that's what I was working on setting up right there. And then warm colors come forward and cool colors recede. As far as values go, what happens is in the distance, like here, my light is really yellowy white. Back here, it's more of a pinky white, and there's not nearly as much contrast. So what I've done is I've made the lights darker and I've made the darks lighter, so that everything's more averaged out in the distance. Lights get darker, darks get lighter. And I know that is a hard one. I mean, it'd be easier to read that. And luckily you can in the book I wrote. And then texture. So if you put a lot more texture in your foreground, then it'll come forward. And the last thing is edges, which is something that I just make up. They're not real. I decide what's going to be in and out of focus. And generally speaking, it's easier to make stuff closer to you more in focus and stuff further away more out of focus. The other things, you can use observation. So if you have a problem with your painting, and you don't know what to do, you can try that thing of saying, well, is this a composition problem? Which that's the worst, in my opinion. When I have a composition problem, I haven't had one in a while that I had to just toss the painting out, but sometimes a composition problem, it's just like just trying to do better next time. But is it a drawing problem? Is it a value problem? Is it a color problem? Is it a texture problem? Like too much value contrast in the distance will pop that forward. Too much texture in the distance will pop that forward. Bigger strokes, having your strokes. Somebody in class this week on Saturday, they were doing, I think I can talk about them because they're actually live in Cape Cod. So I can talk about them here in Rhode Island because they're not a Rhode Islander or a Vermonter. But she was doing this like a channel in the water going away from her, and she had her strokes with her brush were exactly the same width all the way back. So that right there, just changing that's all she had to do to make that appear to start going back instead of looking like it was climbing. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope that's helpful. That is something I got from Richard Schmid's book, which I can't remember the name of it, but it might be something like Everything I Know About Painting. And he had these 5 tools, but I added edges to it.
What's the name of your book?
I think it's called A Painter's Diary. It's just a Kindle book. But you can get the Kindle app on your phone, and one reason I never probably could have gotten a book published, honestly, but one thing that's nice about it is you can really zoom in and see the strokes and all in the pictures, and the pictures are much better on the phone than they ever would have been printed. But if you just put my name into Amazon, I'll try it myself. If I can spell my name correctly. Yeah, exploring landscape and pastel, A Painter's Diary.
Jeneane, is that soft gray you're putting over the rocks?
Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I'm going to say yes. Are you talking about right here?
No, in the middle, over the magenta color.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's the same thing, isn't it? The same thing maybe I used right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't leave hopefully. Let me look. Yes, I did not leave those 2 areas the same, ultimately, on those rocks, but. The next thing I'm going to try to do is film with my iPhone, and just see if that's even better. Or any better. You guys should think about what you want me to paint next. I have another a second shot at this one. But it's not, I don't know. It doesn't have much detail in it, but I just don't really want to do it anymore. But I'll do snow if you want me to. Barb sent me some good snow pictures.
Yes, we need snow pictures.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, and I found some much better snow pictures in my phone, so I'll send those to you too.
Well, as long as you're sure you don't want to paint them.
I'll save one out.
Yeah, okay.
How about a building?
How about what?
A building.
A building. Oh, yeah, I did do a building. I meant to do that building. I meant to do that building you were doing, Christina. Okay, I'll have to see what I got for a good building. I'll have to find a good building picture. I love that barn that's right, Christina and Jeannie will know where it is, right at the intersection, I think, of 1 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
That red
used
barn.
to be a nice farm.
Mhm.
That's a big building. Really
Is that where Peter's Pots used to be?
Well, I don't know, since I haven't been here very long, but
I
If I was rich, I'd buy it for an art school.
After the farm stopped being vital, it was rented. The space was rented, but I don't know if you were lucky. You seem so grown in that little mill area. So.
Yeah, that is a really cool barn. I agree. I can take a picture of that this week if you want.
Okay, if you're a sunny day, I mean, I'll be by there Saturday, but it's supposed to be like 11 degrees or something, or minus 11,
Oh.
right?
-2.
Mm. And it's supposed to be minus 24 in Vermont, so.
Well, yeah, but we expect that in Vermont, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not in Rhode Island.
Jeneane, I
Yeah.
just sent 3 pictures that I took on the way back from our workshop.
Oh, okay. Or in a email
Oh, I don't know.
or a text.
I don't know whether I sent it.
Doesn't matter. I'll get them. Thank you so much.
Maybe I
And
did.
that Terry Ludwig purple that you're using, I guess it's the Terry Ludwig.
Oh, this is a dark blue.
Oh, it's a dark blue. But
Yes, well, I think it's the little dark blue piece that I don't know what it is or
Oh,
where it
okay.
came from. Although I suspect it's a Geralt. Geralt? Maybe? Giraud, thank you.
Can you buy the Terry Ludwig ones individually or only in sets?
I don't know.
Okay.
You just have to look on Dakota. You know, some of them, like, did I tell you about that I wanted to get, I decided I was going to buy the set with some of the money you guys gave me of, I think it's the Great American, but they had a set for like the marine water and sky, and the colors were just so great, you know. And so I checked it out, and I decided which of the colors I really liked in the set and which I wouldn't even want. There were some grays and stuff, and it was cheaper to buy them individually than to buy the set.
Oh.
By the time I took out the colors I didn't really want. So I know Dakota does have some of that stuff in open stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, this is gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
It is. It is.
Thanks. I love you guys.
We love you too.
Oh, thanks. The day right before I took this picture, I accidentally stumbled upon guys with guns shooting ducks. It scared me to death, man. I was like, oh my God, there's guys in the woods in camouflage.
Ew.
I know, I didn't
hear
really.
them on Prudence Island all the time. I'm across the water from Prudence Island, and I hear them most mornings.
Wow. I mean, does duck season just go on all winter?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know if anybody cares on Prudence Island. I don't know if there are any, environmental officers over there.
Yeah. Well, I was a little surprised to be at Rocky Point Park, and which is a state park, and encounter guys with. I mean, it was the. Luckily, I saw the decoys first, and that gave it away that they were there.
I love the purple water.
Oh, thanks. Well, you know, you just got to have your water kind of dark if you want it to have that, those reflections. Look how bad I drew those rocks. Oh, well. I think this must be almost the end. I'm hoping. I'm getting a little bored with it.
What is Mary doing?
Is she making noise?
I'm sorry.
I can't
I
see what
couldn't
you
see.
people are doing, so.
The light was not good.
And I just never could do anything with those trees over there. It's just too hard to reach over there and not have my whole face in the camera. So Look at those little pointy things, all the same space. I can't do it either. I just have to do it like that and then try to come back and break it up later. I've given up. Just can't think about everything at once.
What, because you're lazy?
Mm-hmm. Super
Yeah.
lazy.
That's fabulous.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I also, every time, I just think it's so funny what I decide I just got to redraw.
Well, it's got to be difficult trying to fit so much work into a short period of time.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do in a half hour or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and then it's just so funny, these little oil paintings I'm just like picking away at. I'm going to show you a couple of ones today that I did this week.
Oh, good.
Are you doing those for a show?
I'm doing them for next Christmas.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay, so that's how it really looked, although obviously I didn't get a whole picture there. Okay, just a second, I've got to get rid of quit filming. Controls. Oh, where'd it go? How do I stop? Stop recording.